Hi guys.
Hey Jess.
Hey,
Hi,
Jess.
Hey,
Jess.
Jess.
Hi,
So,
Jess.
Hola, ¿qué pasa?
Yes. Hola. ¿Qué pasa? How are you? Hold on, let me just make sure we're live. Okay, perfect. Okay, can everybody hear me? We're good to go.
yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I want to recap, okay, where we were last in the market. I'm gonna jump straight into the charts, especially because, and my sincerest apologies that I was not here last week. So I want to jump straight in from where we were and then talk about a couple of trades along the way. But how many people took advantage of that consolidation that I talked about on the last call? Anybody?
No, I
Y'all
didn't get to.
crickets. Y'all sound like crickets out here.
I don't trade those pairs, so
Oh, okay, got it. But did everybody see what I was talking about in regards to the consolidation?
Yeah.
yes.
I did. Yes.
Okay, because when we were all looking at the market last, the main thing that I told you guys with the setup that day, like, I mean, of course, we would love every week to hop in the market and there be a 100, 200 pip move, right? But the market does not work like that. And so, if I could get anything through to you guys, it is always, oh, I forgot to put this in a group. Hold on one second. Let me just put this. It will always be to trade what you see, not what you think. And just because the market's open does not mean that you force a position. Okay. Um, where is the YouTube link? Hold on one second, guys. Let me just put this in a group real quick.
Recently,
Okay, there we go. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Hold on one second. Okay. Send this out. All right, there we go. All right, so let's talk about where we were last. And for those who said that you don't trade any of these pairs or whatever the case may be, the structure and the application is the same amongst everything. All right. So again, we're in some consolidation. So it is gonna look like a little, it's a lot going on, but I'm gonna go through it step by step. And if there's any questions, comments, concern as I go through it, definitely ask because I want y'all to be able to follow and understand where we are. Okay. So let's start here. So that Sunday we had also had a Monday or a first Monday of the month call. And then we talked about how on a higher time frame this whole area of structure. Like when we had gotten here, I told people like, well, actually, we had not even had this break and retest yet at this point on this trend line. But I had told everybody that once we got here, you want to like understand or follow the flow of money. And what I mean by that is in trading, you always want to look left. So we have consolidation here, consolidation here, consolidation here. So I had put the highlight box over here. These are not ranges or anything. And at first I was going to delete them off my chart, but because I wanted to recap where we were, I had drawn these on the actual call. I can't remember if it was the Sunday or the Monday call, but y'all have the recordings, so y'all could just go back and get to this point. But we had talked about this playing out for consolidation before we had a confirmation of anything else. So ultimately, the structure, boom, 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 literally consolidated in this area, bounced, literally rejected off of this demand zone, came back up, again, consolidation. So for people who are brand new, consolidation is market moves in three ways: uptrend, downtrend, sideways. That sideways movement is consolidation, okay? But if we look at it from a higher time frame, and I'm gonna go to a different chart so that this is clear, because you guys know that it could look a little confusing on a higher time frame on the trading charts, just because, of course, we have all of our markups. But do y'all see how this whole area has just been ranging literally for, I mean, since last year, December? So right along a whole month. Make sense? Y'all
Yeah.
follow me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so on that call, when I talked about that consolidation, that was the main thing that I wanted to get through to you guys, because I remember somebody saying on that call, like, how do you know it's going to consolidate? And again, it's just always looking left. So overall, we're still in that main consolidation range, but in the midst of the consolidation, remember, you can trade consolidation, okay? Anybody that tells you you cannot, honestly, it just depends on what type of trader they are. I'm an intraday trader, so I'm definitely going to take advantage of the moves in consolidation. Now, that's not to say that one person is right over the other. Like, it's just you guys as traders have to identify what type of trader you are. If you're a swing trader, you might not want to trade the daily money that the market presents to you. You might want to literally sit on your hands and wait for a monthly or 3 month or whatever trade, right? That's not me. Okay. So at this point, you're just literally following the structure that price gives you. Okay. So again, at this point, we had a break and retest. All right. So we rejected our supply and demand zones all throughout. I have a minor zone coming through the top of this. Actually, I need to change these colors. Hold on. This is supposed to be blue and this is supposed to be purple. All right. And I'm gonna delete these now that everybody, because I don't want these to confuse. Now that everybody's on the same page of where we last were. All right, so this is the whole consolidating area. If you look at the highs, the supply on the higher time frame and then demand zone, that's what the blues are. And then I have this minor structure, purple zone going through the middle, okay? Because even though on the higher time frame, these were the main highs and lows, when we're in smaller structure, do you see how this level was still it served as a great bit of support throughout as well as resistance. Everybody with me?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm not really gonna go past these past trades just because they are, if you've been following me for a while, this is literally you guys' course. So it's just breaks and retests all throughout. The only ones with the blue are the trades that I took. I didn't take like this sell over here. I had ended up missing it, and yeah, that's that. So, there is something that I want to point out here though, because I think I remember it's specifically somebody asking me on a Monday night call, when and where do you draw your trend lines? Because sometimes I remember they were saying that they were confused about where to draw it. So you see how I have these two trend lines coming from the top right here because I have a structure going down here. Remember, you have 0.1, 0.2, draw the line into the future, and then I had the same thing right here. Y'all see that? You can have multiple trend lines. Now, you don't want to have so many where your price is looking like tic-tac-toe, where you have literally like just lines everywhere. Like, you don't want to have too many. You want to actually validate the structure that's there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, that does, Jeff.
Does anybody have any questions about that before I continue? I just remember that being a question, so I want to talk about it while we on it. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay, so, I mean, y'all can look at the flow of this chart and see like all of the entries that are there. All of them were based off of, again, like the course, their breaks and retests. So this sell going into this buy, break and retest. And then as price continued, I drew this blue line at the bottom because there was more price to validate an actual higher time frame trend. And then again, with my trend lines, I just draw it on the majority of price because I know another question is sometimes like, oh, well, how do you know which points to connect? Like, I literally draw it on the majority of price. So because I have so much, like price hit this area 7 times throughout here, I drew it on what price hit the majority of time. Like there would be no sense to draw it right here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yep,
Alright.
makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
once that trend broke structure, there was a break and retest here. I really wish that I caught this sell. I was not in the market at the time. But this sold down to the main demand zone that's coming throughout here. Then we ended up having divergence. Where's my RSI? Sorry. Why did 2 just pop up? Give me a second. So then we ended up having divergence leading to a break and retest of this minor trend line, then major. Again, this part's in your course also. So we have 2 entry opportunities here. Now, again, we talk about stopping points. Because I was at an area of resistance, right? Even though I have this fib structure here, okay? This is a very important, crucial thing when it comes to profits, because a lot of people will say, well, it didn't go all the way to my negative 27 and then I was in profit and then the market literally reversed, but my TP was this. Okay, now your TP could be up here from this fib structure. As you guys see, point A, point B, price pulls back, and then the TP is this negative 27. However, when you are looking at your stopping points, you always want to ask yourself, what's the next area where price can resist at? And when you are day trading, it makes no sense to literally enter right here, okay? Get all of this money and then give majority of it back to the market. Does that make sense? So your questions, again, are what are my stopping areas? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So your next stopping point, because of, again, this resistance throughout, right? And support throughout. And even though I missed this sell, like I'm gonna tell you guys also, at the point in which this, okay, at the point in which this sell happened, if I was analyzing this at the time to catch this break and retest, my exit would have been here until I, like, let's say you were in the market at the time and you saw this momentum, then you can remove your TP, right? And I'm just teaching y'all how I trade just because I would rather be safe than sorry, meaning that even though we see this fail so beautifully, you don't know when price is going to fall. You don't know when it's going to break through, right? So if you also have to determine what type of person you are, meaning if you're a super busy person and you're not staring at the market to see, is it momentum at this point or is it exhaustion at this point, and you're not like actively in the market after you place your trade, okay? This would have been your stopping area, right? When you got to this zone here. Well, after you had your break and resets here, your stopping area would have been here. Now, again, that's still 48, 50 pips. Now, on a day trade, mind you, if you're trading, let's say, even 2 standards, like that's still, what is that? $50 times $20. I mean, 50 times 20, whatever that is. What, $1,000? That's $1,000, right? Is that $1,000?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's still like, I mean, that money adds up. Remember, it's compounding. Now, again, if you were in this trade and you saw this momentum right here, of course, right? You see, and then you even see price broke, retested this area before continuing down to the bottom. That's great. That's a great move. I just know that, again, if you're not actively in the market watching, just like over here, every time price came to this zone and rejected, okay? The same thing could have happened here, but it didn't. So remember, we talk about all the time, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. We never know when. That's the part about trading. Like, none of us control the market. We just react to it. So even here, like, I have this going, honestly, for this week, where I am on GU, and I kind of looked at the DXY too. I want to see, like, we're at the lower half of this consolidating. So we have, again, our blue zones, which is our main consolidation area. And then we have, let's say, the north and the south of the consolidation. Right now, we're in the southern part of this consolidation. That sounds so crazy to give it an analogy like a compass, but y'all understand what I'm saying. So right now, we're at the bottom of this in-between zone where we have this minor going through this major. Does that make sense?
On top of the dresser, but there's nothing on it.
Yes.
So, I can foresee this coming up here to retest this blue zone again. And even long term, and again, y'all know when I go to the long term, do not hold me to it because I don't have any confirmation for it yet. Okay. But what I'm leaning towards, my first trade is just this. All right. Again, it's literally the safe way would be to take it this broken retest literally at market open. The safe play would be to literally take it at the top of the zone, but this I do have eventually coming to this -27. You see price has been making higher highs throughout this point, but again, this is a minor consolidating structure, so this could also easily push back down. But with the momentum that has been giving since market open today, I'm looking for this to push here. Now, at this point in this zone, we want to see if it's going to pull, like, shoot down before coming up, but I can see it making it to the top of this. That's what it looks like. Now, again, do not hold me to it because we don't have confirmation as of yet. The only confirmation that we had was when market opened and we had a break-in retest of this little area here that gave this little structure that's forming. All right. Now, again, long term, I could see this literally pushing up to here and then selling off. I know it looks like a whole bunch on top of each other, so let's just go to.
Jess, would you enter the sell at the zone up to the next zone?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
would
But I mean, the buy is the only thing that's right now. And then you wait on your confirmation for a price to go to the next spot, and then you take that. But yeah, I mean, that's why I gave you guys that trade. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna enter it once it gets to the area I need it to get to. So here, I'm not entering this for a sale at this zone because it's too much bullish momentum and I see it happening here. And none of these sales happen. Like when you say, would I enter it for a sale? I don't have a confirmation for no sale right now from this zone because I don't have divergence. I don't have a break and retest of anything. Like I don't have, you see how here, when I took this sell, you see I have this minor right here, and then I have a break and retest right here of this. And then I have divergence forming also. Now this divergence didn't form until this. That's why I was mad that I missed this sell. So the divergence for this structure was forming in the midst of this consolidation. Does that make sense? Or like,
Yes.
I think that was the only sell that was taken. Yeah, that's the only sell that I took in this whole little consolidation range. I missed the rest of them. I missed this. I missed a lot. And I missed this one. So you just want to wait. You just want to wait. Actually, let's see something real quick. Let's see. Now, you see this? Once this gets here, that's what I mean by you want to wait. Remember when I said this can literally push back down to here, but you need confirmation for that first. So once this gets here, if it gives you some exhaustion or whatever the case may be, then yes, but you need confluences. Does that make sense? So we don't really have, like, even if we look at the RSI, we don't have divergence here. yet. Like there's a lot of trades that you're gonna miss out on until you get the confirmation also. So for instance, like this right here. Now I could have easily been like, this is on the demand zone right now, right? But I didn't really have no break and retest or nothing, even though I saw divergence starting to form. It was just one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I missed this trade, honestly. You have some confirmations here. Like I think this was a negative 61.8. Like if somebody was like watching it, they could have taken it. But I missed this one too. Make sense?
I got that off there, 61.8.
Oh, good job. Good job. Good job. So even your confirmation, I mean, that is 3 confirmations for that one. But it's just like if you're actively watching it, is yes. Right. But sometimes like most of the times I just set my alerts and then wait for that next thing to happen to give you confirmation for it. Does that make sense? So like even here, you see how here we broke through this zone right here, and then we came right back under it. There wasn't really confirmation for like anything. Like this is what I mean by like you'll rather be safe than sorry, and making sure that all of your like I's are dotted and T's are crossed before executing. So here, yeah, you could wait for like, okay, let's say once they get to that trend line, you see some exhaustion or whatever case may be. It is at a negative 27, right? And it's at a zone, but you also have this trend line coming from the top up here that can be like, you know, does that make sense? But long term, all right, in the end, dang, I still don't have my annotation tool set up on here. All right, this is a stretch that I'm about to draw on here. Okay, because I don't want to give y'all too far into the future, but once price gets fully to that area, look to see, it might even just do like a small little pullback. Now, I wouldn't sell this yet because this like, ooh, okay. Hold on. I could see this pulling back, let's say to this area, but I wouldn't have a full out sell because even in the midst of that line that was there, as more price forms, you might adjust that trend line to give you more of a majority of price. Does that make sense? Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Jess, when would you enter? What would you look for to get into that?
My confirmation, so like a break and retest, but also like I need some exhaustion to like let me know that this isn't just about to come here, because this can also come here, retest to go higher here and then fall down. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So where it would make sense where you,
Yeah.
if you were to readjust your trend line.
Yeah, it's just like right now we're on this area. Like we're literally on just a very critical area. Like if you didn't enter where market opened, where we were in, where we had like the market literally pushed down and we had this little exhaustion here. But even with this is literally just, again, this is just impulse correction. The fib level hasn't been hit, so we know we're looking for this to play. It's just a matter of this, you see this resisting level, like this is support, 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 support. So when it comes back to it, it's not just gonna break through all willy-nilly, like it's like resistance, resistance, resistance. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, so the main thing here where Yesenia was asking, like with this zone, is just like I said earlier in the call, right? You don't want to just be straight gun ho on a buy. Like you want to have, remember I talked about your stopping points. You want to have those stopping points because this could push down to here. The thing is that we don't know until we have more confirmation of price playing out. The only thing we know are the things that are literally right in front of our face. The only thing we have right in front of our face right now is that minor trend line breaking retest that price opened with, and the fact that we are in a higher time frame consolidating area in which price is ranging in this whole space. Does that make sense? Now, mind you, if you are a higher time frame trader, right? I hate lines to do support and resistance. Let's go back to these zones. If you are a higher time frame trader, right? You can have faith in knowing that your trade is going to get there. It's just how much money do you want to gain from the market and give back before you actually get there? Does that make sense? So a prime example of what I'm talking about is, let's say this. Let's say you got into the buy right here where Malcolm said he took that trade off of that negative 61.8 in that divergence, right? Let's say you got into the buy right here. And let's say that you weren't aware of this support and resistance zone that's coming through the middle. If you got in this buy right here and you did not exit because of this support and resistance zone, literally all of the, let's say again, you did 2 standards. So let's say you got 122 pips on 2 standards. What is that? 122 times 20. Well, no. Is that? Yeah. Yeah. What is that? Whatever that is.
2440.
2440.
Yes. So do you see how just as much as you would have made that 20, so let's say that's that $2,400, you would have just gave all the way back to the market. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, yep.
Yes.
Go up to the next zone.
Yeah. So, because just like, and this goes back again to just your second assignment, really. All right, so that went up 122 pips and fell back 117 pips, right? Like it makes no sense to give all that money back to the market. That makes no sense. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to be aware always, where are you in the market? That's the main thing you want to ask yourself. Where am I in the market? When you understand where you are in the market, then you can take advantage of everything else. So like that, like Yosanya, you see how like this is just a very critical area. So it's like it could go either way. It's just we need to either break above this, break and retest, or because even the structure that's here, like we're making higher highs and higher lows all right here on this so far. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I ask one more question, Jess?
Of course you can.
Maybe there's something you can say to me that might help with this. My issue is when it goes my way and then it goes in a drawdown, like just how you just explained, and it would have gone back up, but then I panic and I get out at a loss or at break even or something like that. It's just such a hard, like, because I haven't got the experience to know that it will go back up. So I exit, I panic and I exit often.
Okay, yes. No. So that means to me that you are literally watching your money.
Yeah.
Do not watch your money. Okay.
Gotta walk away.
This being a structure shift, so that this is 2 different things where, how do I say this? The psychology of price movement and the psychology of structure changing is 2 different things. Okay. What I mean by you don't want to make this money and then give this money back to the market is completely different than entering a trade let's say you entered where Malcolm entered at this negative 61.8 where we have this divergence. Let's say you enter here and price haven't even left where it is yet, but it's literally the baby money before the move happens, right? Like we're literally sitting here. You have every confirmation lined up as to why you got in this trade, but price is just consolidating before it actually pushes. You can have entered, let's say right here, you're gonna see positive, negative for a few hours. Like that's completely normal. So you have to rewire your psychology in this compartment, because anytime you enter, number one, you're going to be negative because the broker spread. So that's the first thing to understand. But then also, if you haven't even pushed from your entry, like this whole thing right here, like even when I talk about trading and consolidation, I'm never talking about like this technically is consolidation on minor structure. I would never trade this. Like I would never take buys and sells in this. There isn't even structure formed. It's just literally price moving sideways before an actual move. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, but you wouldn't know like at the beginning whether it was going to go up. So you enter, but then it just keeps going
You
sideways.
do know. You do know. You do know.
How do you know before it actually happens that it's going to stay there for?
You don't know right here in the middle of this until you have a trend line breaking retest or some structure or something like that. You have three confirmations right here. You have divergence, you have a demand zone, and you have a negative 61.8.
Yeah. Now I was talking about, you know, how it's consolidating at the bottom there, you know, the one you were pointing before.
Right here?
Right there. So I might enter there, but how do you know that it's not going to go up straight away or it's going to wait for a while?
You
I
don't.
thought that's what you were talking about before.
No, you don't know that. Like,
Yeah, you don't know that. Yeah.
yeah, price can consolidate as long as it wants to.
Okay, okay.
So sometimes if it's, I mean, when it comes to news events, of course, we know news always shifts the market faster. That's why when people say you shouldn't trade during news, I think that's crazy. I mean, no, you shouldn't trade during news, but when people are scared and take their trades and close their trades because of news, I don't think that's wise, just because really news pushes the market where it needs to go faster. If you understand structure though. But you don't know, like something like this, you don't know, like you don't know how long price is going to take to push away.
Yeah.
We should go back and it's a call that I went over. I don't know if it's on y'all's Monday calls or a Sunday call, but it's definitely a call that was recorded, and Faith was on that call. And it was this one trade a long time ago that I was so mad at her about, because she had a perfect entry and it was a gold trade. And she wasn't even in drawdown. Like she had like a weak entry, but it was something like this where it was just like taking forever to actually push away. I think she had entered it like on a Monday, and Tuesday passed, Wednesday passed, Thursday passed. It was still no, the trade had actually pushed on a Thursday. So I think from Monday to Wednesday, she closed it on a Wednesday. I don't know. She literally closed it before the day before it went. And we talked about this. I don't even know. Maybe it might have been a psychology call. I really don't know. I just remember it. And that your question just reminded me of that. And I remember being so mad at her. And she was like, yeah, I don't know why I did that. Because all her confirmations were there. But when it takes forever for your trade to play out, it plays like mental games on you. You know what I'm saying? But that is why I say, do not look at your money. Never look at your money. What you need to do is go to the chart and look at your structure. Don't look at your money, because the red, blue, or even seeing the negative, positive of the numbers like equity digits, that's what psychs people out. But if you literally see candlesticks forming, think about it. People don't get psyched out. They just be like, okay, all right, this in a little bit of drawdown. All right, cool, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Noah's talked about this too on one of the calls that I did with him. That call is definitely recorded, and that call is definitely a Sunday night call where he talked about how he covers up the digits with tape. Like a paper tape. He did that for him to get to his higher numbers, but that's very important. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Jess.
Of course. Listen, we need to do a psychology call actually, and we need to do our what did I say I was gonna do with y'all? It was a call. It was a
You're gonna do a tax call, I think.
Vision board party.
it was a trade and plan party instead of a vision board party for this year. So we need to do that. Okay, that's what we need to do. I can't get in touch with Elle. So I'm gonna have to find y'all another text person to do the call. Okay. Because I tried calling him a couple times. I hope he's okay, actually. Maybe he's just dealing with a lot. But yeah, so we'll figure that out though. But we definitely need to put a trade-in plan party and a psychology call on the books for y'all. Okay, especially with it being like the new year. Okay. How many people been sticking to their New Year's resolution goals though? Just curious.
I have.
I love okay. I love that. Please make sure you do. It's the most important thing. And it's really just doing daily composites each and every day. Just some daily composites. Okay, so long term, I got gold going into a buy. I'm sorry, a sell. I have gold going into a sell long term, but I do see it pulling back for a buy. Honestly, it could potentially be like GU. But hey, this is kind of similar to what I told you guys on that last trend line we just looked at when I talked about as price forms, you might need to adjust your trend line. Even though I have this on a majority of price, and you see how I just drew this other trend line at the top. This, I'm not going to count it as invalid yet, but the way this structure didn't retest and just kind of broke through this area, I don't like it anymore. But because we still have those 3 punches or touches right here, I'm going to keep it for now. Let me actually make this black now. And because it's more structure, I'm going to make this one blue. But yeah, so this is kind of very similar. I want to see how this plays out. I am not in this trade right now, but I want to see. So I could see this selling, okay, long term, like I just said. But before that overall sell happens, I'm trying to see kind of where we are in regards to, okay, we have an impulse here on minor structure. Let me actually go to it so it don't confuse nobody. So we have an impulse here. All right. And we clearly see this price pulling back. Now, the only thing that has me a little about this is me dragging this zone over and no lows have been broken. So I drew a black trend line under this so y'all can see what I mean by no lows have been broken. We've just been making higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low all throughout. But because this impulsed the way that it did, I want to see if we're going to get a little bit even. And again, you guys know Fibonacci, a tool that's used to measure retrace of a counter trend based on the current trend of the market. Like this can pull back to any of these fib levels, even to this 100, which would just be a midway, just really similar to GU, a lot similar to GU, a midway resistance, and then push. Now, the trend line got me a little also because the trend line is lining up with this zone. So I don't really know how I feel about this fib. I might not keep it here, but the negative 27 would still be valid. Do you see what I'm saying? Because this is also points that we have to look at also. Does that make sense? So I'm sitting on my hands with this one right now because I really need to see some more structure play out.
Hey, Jessica.
Do you see how if this came to here, this would just still be like in this same low vicinity area here?
Yes.
Now, also you want to be careful because with this being consolidation, if this does come to here, it's kind of like them anomalies that I talked about the other day with gold, where it's like, even if it does come here, because you have this blue trend line at the top, you don't want to just assume this is going to break and retest and keep selling. Now, I'm telling y'all minor structure moves right now because, of course, again, long term, I'm looking for a sell, right? But if you're like a very intraday trader or even a scalper trader, that's just kind of what I'm looking at. So I need this to really play out a little bit more so that I can see where we are in totality. But for right now, actually, let's drag this out. Wow. Okay, we did no, it didn't hit the way I wanted to. Okay, it's a force. But anyway, with this, I want to see how far this gonna pull back. It's like I'm just a little iffy on it. Even though the main move I have is to go low. Okay. Also, somebody had asked me that last Monday call that we did, would I adjust my fib right here? I think, I don't remember who asked me, but we had talked about it and I said not yet because this is a consolidating area. This is literally exactly why. Do y'all see the structure?
Yes.
Okay. So just, but again, the main structure that I'm looking at is impulse, correction. All right.
Hey,
Yes.
Jessica, I had a quick question.
Yeah.
So, why does your instincts, if you can explain it, why do you instinctively, 'cause from what I'm looking at, is that bottom point, that's the first pullback. Yeah, yeah, boom. That's the first pullback. So after it broke through the support, now it's resistance. Boom, boom. And then it would go up to the trend line at the very top. Would be the completion of that.
Yes. But because the zone is at the top. No, but that's what I'm saying. I have that trend line there, but this minor move is first. You want to see how this is going to form first. Because remember, this is a minor and a minor. So let me explain it like this. This is what you're talking about. You're talking about this, right?
Right.
This is what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Valid. But remember that in a pullback is a downtrend from a higher time frame or an uptrend from a higher time frame. So let's say like, or even this, let's say it's an uptrend on this higher time frame that we're looking at, but this pullback, when price pulls back, it's a downtrend on minor structure.
Sure.
Does that make sense? So the pullback is occurring right now. We don't know that this pullback is done because we're in consolidation. You see what I'm saying? If we weren't on a zone or didn't have a zone here, then it would be clear as day, okay, boom, boom, boom. But look left, you see all of this? So we can't expect it just to be easy like price is about to do. Like we can't just expect price to just say, okay, impulse correction, continuation higher, because if we look left in the area that we're in right now, I'm gonna put the same boxes that we put on the last one. In the area that we're in, we can't ignore this. Do you see what I'm saying? And also, the way that I trade is minimizing drawdown. So by all means, like that's why when I talked about that trend line, I talked about the trend line because I see this, I'm acknowledging it, and I'm aware of it as a possibility. That's why I said I'm sitting on my hands right now because I don't really have confirmation yet. Like, even with this trend line being below, right? It might be a thing where once that comes to negative 27, then I got to adjust it right here. You see what I'm saying? And then it could come, let's say here, before it goes up there. We don't know. All I know is based off of major structure, I'm looking for this overall to sell. But where we are in structure, what's the right now money? The right now money is literally Friday, we had an impulse down. Ever since the market opened, or I'm sorry, Thursday-ish, Friday, we had an impulse down. Ever since the market opened, we're literally in this tiny consolidating area, which is synonymous towards this right here and then this right here. This is just when people say, how do you get perfect entries, or how do you not have that much drawdown, or this and that, or whatever? It's just literally just making sure that you pay attention to where you are. So where I am is just, I'm in this, but just in a different space. So now I have to see what the market's going to do so I could decide what I'm going to do. You see what I'm saying?
Clear.
Definitely.
Because this could, before it gets there, and this, again, I don't know. I don't know because I don't have enough price shown to know yet. Like, again, sometimes when we do these calls, it's clear as day, like, oh, boom, boom, boom. But sometimes when we do it, we need more price to play out to verify or validate. This can do this before that, which is an overall, again, this is literally y'all's second assignment. That, which is an overall this from a higher structure. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. But again, it's just always, it's always just a matter of when, not if, and then also how, and then also, not even how. Well, it could be how, but how do I minimize my risk in this position that I see? How do I take the most money from the market without any of my money getting taken? And then how can I leverage what's going on right now for my benefit? Yeah.
Wouldn't the daily be considered still bullish?
You say what?
Wouldn't the daily, like if you go to the daily, wouldn't the daily still be considered bullish?
Yeah, most likely because mind you, we just went on a super big uptrend. Even on GU, we're at the very top. Let me go to a different one with nothing on it. So, like, I see, but we not looking at, well, I mean, when I trade, like, I'm not looking at daily, like, when we do our top down, like on my actual day trading trades, I'm not looking at the daily at that time. But like, okay, like we're in an overall uptrend from gold, right? Like gold has been even seeing astronomical highs. Like we broke an all-time high literally, I think it was the beginning of December, right after Thanksgiving. So we still have like, and it's a lot going on with the economy. So like overall, yes, right? Like I see a bright future for gold in regards to buyers. But when I talk about like major time frames, like we have our overall major, like we talk about, which is our daily, weekly, monthly, but like on our day trading major time frames, I'm talking about everything below that. like our trades for the weeks. Do you see what I'm saying? Because your day, like one daily candle that you're looking at that forms like a move, this whole move is literally formed in, what is this? Let's say this one uptrend right here has been formed since October. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's a lot of price to look at. But where we are in this structure, right? Where we have this movement going, right? You see out here, we have this to the left. This movement here can give us one more low for this structure that we're in, even though we have like this. Do you see what I'm talking about? You see how we haven't really broken any lows, but even if we pull lower, you see this has been selling since really all month. All of January, gold has been selling, right? So yeah,
Okay.
on a daily, it could be buying, but like what's happening? What's your right now money? Like what's going on right now? This month, gold has been selling all throughout, right? And this where this price, let me okay. Where this price
Thank you.
for this could go lower potentially.
Okay. Thank you.
Again, also remember when I tell y'all like I give y'all like what I see, but you want to trade what you, I mean, I give y'all what I see at the time based off of what's happening at the time. But that's why we do the calls weekly, because at any given moment, anything like a news event can happen tomorrow that literally completely just pushes this deeper or whatever the case may be. And then we have structure broken. And then next week we can have a whole different trade. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Hey,
Okay.
Jeff.
Yes.
Hey, I know sometimes you trade what is it, GJ? With
Mhm.
with news coming out, do you see like it affecting GJ in a major way? Because it's on like a huge uptrend.
Yeah. All of them are really, I mean, when you say news coming out, is it gonna affect it? Like all of our news affects our currency because that's what shifts our currency. You know what I'm saying? But in regards to DJ, you just have to wait on your structure to validate it. No different than this. Like I got this literally this right here, even in like I don't know who asked me the question or whatever case may be about this being the pullback. It could potentially be the pullback to just push to this blue trend line. It's just right now, we don't know. Like we don't have, remember when I said I'm not married to this fib level right now? Like I'm not even married to this because I have wick exhaustion and I'm on a zone. But I also am aware that I have a trend line right here. So really it's just, again, like I said earlier, it's dotting your T's, wrong one, dotting your I's and crossing your T's of all of your possibilities and scenarios. And then as price forms, you hone in on, okay, this is the most probable cause because this happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
No problem. And then also, honestly, I could see the DXY selling and then buying, right? So that means with gold and with GU, that means I could see them buying and then selling. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because this, I could see this literally pushing down to this trend line here before going into a buy.
Hey, Jess, question on your field placement right there. I see you got it at the long wick, but before that happened, would you had put it at yeah, that area right there?
Yeah.
Would that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, that's where I had it first. And then just as more of this price played out, I just adjusted it. But yeah, you can keep it right there. Like you see this main one still is here. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Either one is fine for where we are. Just because I'm not like I don't trade on this. I just kind of am using it as a gauge. You see what I'm saying? I don't trade my DXY. I'm just using it as a gauge. But for this right here, like this is before y'all got on this call, this was where my fib was. I just adjusted it when I was looking at it. I just moved it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. But yes, to answer your question. So again, I'm looking for this to sell down before pushing back up. But the main thing, just like I told you guys last time or on the last call when we talked about it, really all of this stuff is really, well, not even gold, because gold they all had good buys. I think it was the 14th, the 15th. When was that? Tuesday, Wednesday? They had, I'm sorry, not good buys. They had good sales. GU and gold sold a lot this week. But again, it's still in that main consolidation area. So you just want to make sure you are taking into account your confirmations. Everybody with me?
Yes.
So
Yes,
do
ma'am.
you do a trade? Do y'all want to do y'all trading plan call or y'all's psychology call next week?
Trading
Plan.
Trading plan.
Trading plan.
All right, so let's put that on the books for next week.
This will be on Monday or Sunday?
No, Sunday. Y'all's next Monday call is the 5th, so that's 2 weeks. And is everybody in the Facebook group now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Do we need to do for the trading plan, Jess?
Nothing. Just
Nothing?
I'm gonna give y'all all the directions while we on the call.
Okay.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay, guys. I missed you guys. Happy Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. This was a good one.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Bye.
Have a good